Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're gonna be making a keto pull-apart milk bread that tastes like Hawaiian rolls. So these rolls are gonna be perfect for you to eat as a sweet treat. You can use them to make sliders. They're just so perfect and airy and fluffy, and honestly, you are going to be obsessed. And now I'm gonna walk you step by step on how to make these delicious rolls. All right guys, so let's go over the ingredients. We're gonna start off with some unsweetened almond milk. This here, you have to make sure that it is room temperature, okay? Because it needs to be room temperature. If it's too cold, it's not gonna work out. So we have half cup of unsweetened almond milk. And now we're gonna use a condensed milk. This is my condensed milk recipe. I will link it in the description below. It's absolutely amazing. You can add this for, of course, this recipe, but you can also use it for coffee, for just to put it on low carb toast, so many different things. So anyway, my spatula is a little big, but how cute is this? This is 2 tablespoons of my condensed milk, okay? Okay, and now we have our egg that is also room temperature. So you wanna make sure that all your ingredients are room temperature, okay? Because if they're not, then it's just not gonna mix as well. So we have our egg, again, room temperature. And now we're gonna do our sweetener. So I typically like using allulose. Again, it's linked in the description below, just so you know. I usually link all of everything I use, so you guys know exactly, what I'm using. So this is a powdered allulose. I like to use powdered, but you can totally use granular. It's still gonna work just fine. I just feel like it dissolves, easier. And then we have our instant yeast, and this you're gonna toss it right in. And this is 1 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, okay? So now we're just going to whisk it. And now we just whisk together. Okay, so you're just gonna make sure that the yeast and everything is well incorporated. And as soon as it is, we are going to mix it into our wheat flour. Okay, so obviously this is mixed together. Now for our actual flour, today we are using this, the King Arthur's keto wheat flour. So this, I got it at my local pavilions. I don't know where else they sell it. If you guys know where else you can get this, please comment down below and let everyone else know. But it's about $10 and it has gluten, so it's not a gluten-free bread, but it definitely has the closest texture to a bread. So that's what we're using today. And I have it here set up for us already. So this is 1.5 cups plus 2 additional tablespoons, okay? And now we're gonna add our little salt. So we have some real salt. This is 1/2 teaspoon of our salt. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, now that our wet ingredients are all mixed in, we're just gonna toss that into our dry flour. Okay, so now we're just gonna mix together and try not to have a bunch of lumps. This is a pretty forgiving bread, so don't worry. We're just mixing it all together, and then we will incorporate our butter. Okay, so now we just add our 2 tablespoons of softened butter. You don't want it to be melted, you just want it softened. Okay, oh, it's a little crazy, but. So now that we've tried to mix it as best as we can with the spatula, now we have to knead it for about 2 to 4 minutes. So let me show you how to do that. I'm just gonna grab a piece of parchment so that, it's easier to work with. And let's go ahead and put our dough on here. Okay, so we need to knead it because we need to create elasticity and air into the bread. So that's the reason why. You guys know I'm not all professional here, but this is what you guys are gonna do at home if you are making this bread, okay? And this is, so again, you wanna have your little buns need to be airy and fluffy. So this is the only way to do it. Unless you have, like a stand mixer or a food processor, that can help with kneading, but we're just doing it by hand, just like little home cook. So now that we finished kneading it, we form it into a little ball. Looks all pretty. We have a little avocado oil. I just buy this at Costco because, it's jumbo size. We're gonna spray the bowl. Why? That's just the rule. We do it. And we put our little ball inside, our little dough, and we're gonna cover it. Okay, so we're gonna let it rise for 1 hour. Okay, so now it's been 1 hour and here's our dough. I actually set this in the microwave of course, without turning it on. You can do it on top of the fridge, in the oven, just anywhere like the warmest part of your kitchen, because that helps it rise. So this is what it's gonna look like. Beautiful, perfection. And now this is the fun part. Okay, so you get to release your anger on your little dough. It's getting a little messy, but now let's go ahead and take it out. You get to have fun with your food. I like to, but okay, so now let's move on to the next step. But our dough is done. It's nice and fluffy and perfect. This is what you want your dough to look like, okay? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is use another piece of parchment paper, and we're just gonna put it right on top of our dough, see? So we're gonna just lay it right on top, and then you're gonna roll it out. So we're gonna roll it out with a little rolling pin, and I'm gonna show you the size, okay? Just so you guys are gonna have to make this. I'm telling you, you're gonna be so obsessed with this, especially if you miss bread. Like, I'm obsessed with bread, and this is just like one of my favorites. Okay, so as you can tell, it's not perfect, but all we're trying to accomplish here is a rectangular, you know, a rectangular shape. And now what we're gonna do is roll it out. Let me show you how. Beautiful. See, that's why you use parchment paper. It makes it so much easier. Okay. You're just gonna use the parchment to help you roll it, because if not, you know, it can get a little messy or tricky. So this way you just kind of start and you roll with the parchment. Okay, so we're gonna use this little pastry cutter, and typically you would want to get like 7 equal parts, but this side over here is a little skinnier, so we're going to figure it out as we go. Okay, so it's getting a little sticky, so what we're gonna do is just spray this, just so that it doesn't stick. And then, boom, then it just makes it so much easier. Okay, you see? Perfection. And this one we'll leave it a little longer because it's skinny. So that's how you cut them. And you can of course use a knife. If you don't have one of these little guys, you can just spray your a butter knife. Like, you could just spray a butter knife, or you know, whatever you have. Honestly, just make it happen. Okay, so here we have a little loaf pan, and I have it lined with aluminum paper, and that's just so that it doesn't cook like super quickly, because yes, they're gonna get nice and like brown, but you don't want them to burn. And then we line it with parchment so that once it's done, we can pull it out very easily, okay? So now let's go ahead and grab our rolls. Okay, and since I have to handle the dough and it is a little sticky, I'm just gonna spray a little bit of the avocado oil. We are going to lay them down, like so. Make sure that your oven has been preheating at 350 degrees. So see, look at, he turned out to be necessary to fill up that little gap. Cute. Does it look so cute? Guys, we're making bread. I'm so excited. I love bread. So every time we make bread, I hold bread and butter very close to my heart. Okay, so now that it's all positioned properly and looks beautiful, we are gonna have to let it wait again, or rest. So we're going to cover it for 45 minutes. Okay guys, so here is the bread. We've let it rest and rise for about 45 minutes now. So this is the second time around, and now it's ready. It looks perfect. What we're gonna do is do a little egg wash. So this was an egg with about a tablespoon of, you can use heavy cream, almond milk, or even water. I used almond milk. And so now I'm just going to do a little brush. And you want to do this so that it looks nice and beautiful and golden brown. But if you don't, I don't know, if you run out of eggs or something, then I guess you can go without it. But yeah, you'll see the difference. Well, you'll just see how beautiful they turn out right now. And now the egg wash is done, and now let's go ahead and bake. Okay, so these little beauties are going in 350 degrees, and we will check on them in about 15 minutes. Okay, so here's our bread. Wow, do you see that? Gorgeous. I cannot wait to dig in. Okay guys, so here is the final product. They turned out beautifully. So now we're gonna make a little keto condensed milk. This is my condensed milk recipe. I will link it down in the description below. It is perfection. You can use it to make your coffees. Like I said, you can just use it for so many different recipes. And then we have 2 tablespoons of condensed milk and 2 tablespoons of butter. So this is how we're going to make our little glaze. And we're just going to mix this together. And you want this to be a little warm because you want it to be a little runny so that it can go right on top of your bread. You want it to be a thinner consistency, okay? And now we're just going to add it right on top. Okay, so here's our glaze, and now we're just going to brush it on. This is delicious. I am telling you, you have to try the condensed milk recipe. It's just amazing. And of course this bread, OMG right now, look at that, beautiful. And of course you can always throw more or just make some and then save it on the side, so you know you can add it to your little piece. But okay, so I might as well do a quick taste test. Let's give it a try with our little condensed milk. Check it out. This tastes like real bread. Like non-keto bread. The condensed milk is so good. So go. It's delicious. You guys have to try it. All right guys, so I hope you really enjoyed this recipe. These little rolls are perfect, again, for sliders, for you to just use for dinner rolls, as dinner rolls. Make them, let me know what you think. Come back and comment down below because I love to hear your feedback. And like always, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Make sure you have your post notifications on so that you don't miss any of my videos. And the full recipe step-by-step with description is on my blog at lowcarblove.com. So make sure you check that out. It's linked down below in the description. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I love you so much and I will see you on my next video. Mwah.